My great-grandfather left Italy in 1913, which is an interesting year to choose to leave, because the reason he left is because he was being taxed so heavily by the Italian government and the mob because he lived in San Giovanni. And when he left, he had to leave his wife, who was pregnant with their first child, and then he got on a ship. He had mazzasoli, which is honey bread, so that it wouldn't spoil. Not sure he had enough food to make it all the way to the United States in the name of making a better life and being the catalyst for the legacy that I'm now responsible for in my own family. Once he got here, they didn't even understand him because he didn't speak English, and they changed his name when he went through Ellis Island. So his last name was Iaquinta, now it's Iquinto all of a sudden because he shows up. He gets on a train, he takes that train all the way to a small town in Utah called East Carbon, where he becomes a goat herder, lives in a freaking tent just to save up enough money to hopefully send some home for them to be able to live, and at the same time hopefully be able to buy a home and then bring them over to live with him again. That was a 7-year process before he saw his daughter, who was almost 7 years old, and before he saw his wife again. And then he became a coal miner. I'm from a coal mining town where my grandfathers and even my father were coal miners. I decided to mine something other than coal. I decided to mine wealth. And what I mean by mining wealth is coal's a pretty dirty energy, but each one of you have your own energy that is very clean, and I call that a soul purpose, S-O-U-L. It's your values, it's your abilities, it's your passion, it's your purpose. It's the best container of who you are. And when I heard the investment panel, even in the world of investing, we can talk about a concept like that. Because in investing, when you heard, hey, if you had $1 million, what would you do with it? And the answer should be different for everyone because they were discussing something called investor DNA. Investor DNA is, what is it when you look at your own core values and your own core competencies and what really drives you, and then focus instead of diversify. See, the ultra wealthy, they're not overly diversified. They might diversify when they have so much wealth, they need to find places to put it, but to get there, it was a game of focus. Andrew Carnegie said he put all of his eggs in one basket and watched it like a hawk. So, see, my great-grandfather didn't have a lot of wealth to manage necessarily, but he did something that was kind of a gift for my family because I realized the reason he had to leave his family for 7 years because he didn't understand what I'm going to teach you today. That's why it's so important to me to make sure to get this message out there, because he didn't have the team, he didn't have the insight, because here's the bottom line, and I would write this one down. Hard work with the wrong philosophy still equals bankruptcy. Still equals poverty.